Hola estudiantes, en este video voy a hablar sobre el Proyecto 2. In this video I'm going to talk about Project 2, the Global Events and Stories project. So you can think of this project as kind of like an expansion on what you were learning in your last project. A lot of things will be similar, except for this time you'll be exploring global events and stories. You'll be kind of taking what you were learning from your last project and building on it. So there are different activities. You'll choose different cultural events and stories within Spanish-speaking countries for this project. I've included some interactive textbooks with a focus on narrative stories and cultural events from various countries around the world. You could also choose to do an entire unit on a Spanish-speaking region or country for this project. So you engage with those activities. Probably will be a chapter or an entire unit of a textbook, and then you develop what you learn into a presentation. This presentation will include a short overview of the unit, an outline of specific cultural products, practices, and perspectives, comparisons to your own language, your career, a critique of the unit, a learning reflection, and a list of materials and resources to be shared with the class. So just like last project, you'll practice language skills, giving descriptions, presenting information, the past verbs and present as well, making comparisons and responding to others. You'll explore cultural contexts, cultural products, practices, and perspectives, making comparisons, similarities, and differences, as well as reflecting on your learning. So here are the different knowledge and skills you'll learn. Here are the learning outcomes that you'll meet through this project. And after that, you see the project tasks. So the first things to do in week 4, get familiar with the purpose, description, rubric, and templates for this project. Read then watch the activity on the Spanish-speaking world. And then explore topics and choose a textbook unit and or a region to explore. Complete the interactive textbook activities in week 4. As you finish that up, complete the readings and videos related to developing your project. Many of those will be review and using the Spanish language in your project, things like the past verbs and telling stories in Spanish. Following that, you have to share your first impressions in the Padlet in week 4, share your rough draft in week 4 as well, and then in week 5 you'll submit a final draft, respond to your classmates, complete the reflection journal, and add 3 new words to the word cloud. Here is the project rubric, how you'll be graded on this particular project, and a template you can use. You can make a copy of your own here. This template looks at your introduction to the evento global or global event, gives you different Spanish starter phrases, helps you with the resumen de unidad or a unit summary, different Spanish starter phrase for giving summaries, more on las 3Ps, productos, prácticas, and perspectivas, conexiones and comparaciones, so connections and comparisons, just like on the last project, but this time you'll do connections and comparisons between languages as well as between cultures. Continuing on, there is a reseña or a critique, a short review of the text that you studied, and then a reflexión, and your sources and extra research that you can share with your classmates from this project. So there you have it, the breakdown of this project as a Global Events and Stories project. As you move through these activities, you get to this place where you explore options for major Project 2. This is where you can choose one of these textbook units to complete. There's several from a Pluma textbook. It's all about stories in Spanish, and there's different bullet points that tell you a little bit about what's in each textbook unit. So you can choose one of these textbook units based on these different topics and global events. You could also choose a global event and story based on different Spanish-speaking regions around the world. For example, there's different options here for the Caribbean or El Caribe, and there's a couple different textbooks that provide information about El Caribe. So you could explore these 2 textbooks and develop your project based on any of these options as well. There's Mexico and Central America, Mexico and Central America, multiple links there. El Norte de Sudamérica y el Caribe Continental, so the north of South America, or the continental Caribbean, sometimes referred to, Colombia, Venezuela, Panama. There's also the Países Andinos, the Andes mountains countries like Ecuador, Bolivia, and Peru. And finally, you have the bottom two, El Cono Sur, that's the southern cone of South America, Argentina, Chile, Paraguay, Uruguay, and then option 10 is España, Spain. And there's different videos and, different textbook links that can show you all of those different resources that you could use for Project 2. So you get to choose one of these units to complete and then present about for Project 2. Let me know if you have any questions. Adios.